finances, not just especially during this festive season, but also all year round. Fine, Christmas will come and go, New Year will come and go. When January sets in, January 1st, of course, Salo for December will have checked in Nauko, beginning, rather the early 20-something days, from 25th, 24th even, for some employers. Fine, we've opened a new year, talk to us about the resolutions that even one can take and be able to say, I may be in debt. You can talk about one who is in debt and one who is not in debt, to be able to ensure that their 2025 is a smoother, it's less rough.
Okay, so I'll start with the one who's in debt.
Yes.
I think two options you need to think about is debt consolidation as option one, and then also paying the small debts first.
Debt consolidation, knowing how much you owe.
Yes, you need to know the full amount, and then you need to move to you need to make sure that the entire amount is seated in one pot, the cheapest pot. That is number one. Number two, it is to pay the small debts. Remember, if you have 14 debts, start with the debts that you can offset in full first. So those can be your first New Year's resolution around paying the small debts and then negotiating with the people who have given you the big debts. And so look at options like buy-offs to cheaper lenders. Look at if you had taken an asset finance to buy maybe an AMG Mercedes, and now you cannot be able to service this debt. Discuss with your bank options of them disposing this car so that you start off with a clean slate. Option for two, maybe you have a mortgage, you have a car finance with one bank and a mortgage with another bank, or you have a car finance and then you have other small debts. Think about how can you increase the loan that you have where you are, the cheaper loan, and then use that amount to offset these very expensive small loans. And if you do that, then you're only left with one loan to service. Think about debt consolidation, restructures. Now talk to your financial institutions when you do not have an option to take out more debt so that you can offset the expensive debt. Then go back and discuss with the financial institution and tell them, this is my now current financial position. I cannot be able to service a debt at 40,000, maybe I'll service one at 8,000. And then agree on a medium. Agree on a debt that works for you, and then ask them to find out alternatives for you to offload the debt to cheaper institutions. You'll find, because they are in this space and they have been in space for longer than you have been, they have cheaper options for you. But number one, communicate.
Okay.
Whatever happens when you're in debt, talk to the lender. Talk to the lender. I think I'll give you a bad joke, and I don't want this to be taken anywhere. It is very hard for a financial institution even to auction anything from a customer who has been paying small amounts frequently. For example, installment is 100,000, but you are not able to pay the 100,000 as a chunk. But you can show that I pay 5,000, I pay 10,000, I pay throughout the course of the month. When it comes to the table to negotiate, it's very easy to be able to negotiate the financial and say the willingness to pay is there, the capacity is not. And let's find a way where my willingness and my capacity are matched, where I relieve pressure from you as the lender waiting for this money and planning with it, and you relieve pressure from me to allow me to think about how do I make money to service this debt. So if you have never borrowed and you're making a financial institution, I want to say as a lender, the best source of business income to invest in business should be 50% saving, 50% borrowing. And I would want to stress as much as possible, if you're going to take businesses fail between 1 year and 2 years. So if you're going to take a risk, and I know a lot of the New Year resolutions will be around how to become financially
secure, stable,
how to try and transit away from employment. And a lot of this is around starting businesses. Important things to think about when you are running a business are the cost of overheads. And overheads are rent, things that you pay even when a business is not generating income. How many of those can you shoulder for a year as you wait for the business to break even? That is number one. You need to identify how much can I pay in rent for a year. If this business will never make any money,
do I have the money?
Do I have the money to pay rent if I'm going to have a physical shop? Do I have the money to pay employees if I'm going to have them working in my shop or doing something for me? That is number one. Number two, you need to ask yourself, is there a real target audience? And I'm telling you, people who like the clothes you wear and the people who can buy the clothes you want to sell them are very different. A joke I was given by a business owner I know. He told me, every time you know you are in business is if you can get a paying customer. And with the advent of technology, you can sell on social media, you can be able, whether it's services or goods, you can now sell without incurring overheads. Can you try and sell these things that you are saying without incurring any overheads first? If you can get buying customers month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, and now you now need to move maybe to a physical space to absorb the demand, and not the other way around. You don't start with the physical space as you wait for the demand. If you're going to start, for example, farming, I think the people want to farm horticultural products, you have not identified a market. And you've gone to me, you've borrowed a lot of money, you've sunk it in greenhouses all over Narok, and now the produce is here, we have nowhere to take it. And then you are running, first and foremost, it's a perishable good, so if you're not able to sell them, you're going to consume them, and yet you have to service a debt. So a lot of the New Year's resolution, think about them from if a business does not generate income for 1 year, what can I absorb as overheads? And then find alternative ways of running a business without overheads. For example, if you are running a school transport business, I'll give an example. If the car is not carrying children, it's parked. So you don't have any overhead. The only challenge, if you bought the car on credit and it is parked, you have to pay the bank. So think about those things even as you're starting these businesses in New Year, as you're planning for your New Year. And I wish everyone joins business, but I also want to encourage a lot of you that it is not easy, not to say that you should not get into business, not easy, but you need to start with your own money. You need to have saved your own money so that you can take risks and learn lessons with your own, as opposed to taking risks with the bank's money, because it comes with an interest component, which could be very punitive and could sink you into bad credit.
Indeed.